Welcome, everyone, to the heart of the North Georgia Mountains here in Dahlonega. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Lynn Cottrell Park at the UNG Soccer Complex, home of the Nighthawks, as we get set for our Peach Belt Conference men's soccer showdown between North Georgia and the visiting Hurricanes, from Georgia Southwestern. We are so glad to have you all with us today. Robert Eagleman here alongside Bailey Vessel and the rest of the Nighthawk Sports Network team. The Nighthawks are coming into this one after a defensive battle against Lander on Wednesday, ending in a 0-0 tie, snapping a two-game losing streak. The Nighthawks have faced some tough competition past the midway point of the season, including a road matchup against the 14th ranked team in the nation, Clayton State. On the visitor side, the Hurricanes have been in a bit of a mid-season slump, dropping 3 of their last 4. They're looking for their first win since September 9th when they faced off against Middle Georgia State. So we should be in for a fun one today as the Hurricanes look to get back into the winning column here this afternoon. We are already underway here in Dahlonega. It's that through ball there from this Hurricanes is met by a Nighthawks defender. As that goes back to Hazel Lay, getting the start in goal for the Nighthawks this afternoon. He's been their go-to all season long. And here are the starters for both North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern. First for head coach Anel Lilich and the Nighthawks. In goal, as we mentioned, is Hazel Lay. And on the field, it's Walsh, Cano, Prince, Laura Wright, Dave Vienna, Balzano, Rodas, Vitelli, and Max Garnett's going to round out that starting lineup for North Georgia. And for Georgia Southwestern, in goal is Romero. And then on the field, it's McQuay, Fenning, Melendez, Dominguez, Gravel, Bedleg, Salamatu, Galloway, Malaret, Johnson, and Bedard. We've got a great crowd this afternoon on Pink Out here in our doubleheader for North Georgia's men's and women's soccer teams. Everybody repping their pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it looks like a foul is going to be called. This is going to be a goal kick for Georgia Southwestern and Romero. Whistle and a foul there. Going to end in a... I believe this is a free kick for the Nighthawks. As we mentioned earlier, Nighthawks having faced some tough competition past this midway point, especially a lot of games that were tough on the road, including that 14th ranked Clayton State that they took on earlier this season. And Bailey, while the Nighthawks have had their ups and downs on the road, one thing that's remained consistent is their success playing in front of their home crowd, still undefeated in Dahlonega this year.
Yeah, I'm sure they're glad to be back home. I know playing Clayton State, the 14th ranked team on the road, that's a really good team, and they had a lot of trouble with them. But hopefully this Southwestern team, they're able to get a tie on the road. That's a tough place to play, so hopefully they can get a win here. And they love scoring for their home fans, so love to see some goals early on. And
absolutely, and they weren't able to get a goal on Spirit Night this past Wednesday in a tightly contested matchup against Lander. Still a very entertaining game, even though it ended at 0-0. But I'm sure the Nighthawks are eager as ever, as you mentioned, Bailey, to get another goal here in front of their home crowd.
And that's a pretty good result against Lander, who's won the Peach Belt many times in the past year for men's soccer. So that's a good result, even if it's 0-0. I'm sure the boys team was happy with that result.
Absolutely. And Lander, coming into that game, I believe was 4-4 on the year. Nighthawks had 4 wins of their own as well. And so while Bearcats had the Nighthawks number going into that one. Kept it very even in that last matchup, ultimately ending in that 0-0 tie. Nighthawks are on the move here as Vitelli sends it in, and that's deflected by Romero.
It's a good look by the Nighthawks. They need to find Vitelli often and early. He's got a lot of speed and get the ball in the box. Find Garnett, who's very good in the air.
Absolutely. Vitelli and Garnett, that 1-2 punch. Expect to see them very involved here in the Nighthawks attack game. And that through ball to Garnett as he chases it down. He's tripped up in the box, and we're going to have a whistle here, and no whistle. Actually, it sounded like we had a whistle, but Garnett was tripped up, no call, and this is going to be a goal kick from Romero. Dangerous play there, and what would have given the Nighthawks a potential PK early on in this game.
That was a good through ball. Garnett gets on the end of it. And the goalie must have done enough to not justify the ref giving a PK early on in this game.
And the Nighthawks have actually yet to take a PK this season. As they are forced back to the back line, trying to find Prince. Hurricanes now with possession. Good job with the Nighthawks back line getting on top of that. Prince is there as he finds Rodas. Makes his way past midfield. Gets it to Garnett. Finds Balzano. Back to Garnett.
Oh.
And that one just off from the Nighthawks. A couple great opportunities here in these opening minutes of the first period.
That was a great early cross by Wright to get that in, and Garnett was in the right spot, just unlucky there and unable to get his head on it, but they earn a corner.
Absolutely, in this corner, probably going to try to find Walsh. Here he's usually their go-to, standing at 6'3". As that one sent in and headed out of there by the Hurricanes defender. And it's just kicked out of play, giving North Georgia the throw-in here in front of the bleachers. Vienna the throw-in. And coming into this one, the Nighthawks haven't had much time to prepare. A quick turnaround after playing Lander on Wednesday as opposed to Georgia Southwestern, who also played Lander in their previous game, but that was a week ago on September 30th.
Sure, for Southwestern, it's nice to have that bye week in the middle of the season, just rest your legs and just come out fresh. So we'll see how that affects this game.
Southwestern now on the attack. Ball still alive in the box. North Georgia's defense doing a good job there, taking care of it. There comes a through ball to Garnett. He tries to chase it down, keep it in play, and he almost keeps it in play, but is just out of bounds there. Right idea from the Nighthawks trying to find Garnett, but it's going to end up in a throw-in here for the Hurricanes. Lots of action going on there near bleachers. Salamatu was on the ground. Tried to make a play on his back. That's going to end up in a free kick for Georgia Southwestern. As Rodas takes over, he's got defenders on his trail. And the Hurricanes take over. Rodas trying to show off his speed there. Had two lengthy defenders, though, behind him to take that one away. Ball stays in play. Vienna swarmed by a couple defenders. Here's Balzano. Intercepted by the Hurricanes. A great job there from Vitelli over there on that right side to take that one away and send it out of play, stopping that momentum that Georgia Southwestern had built up. Alex playing a little bit of keep away here. Prince over here by the bleachers. He's got a little bit of room to operate, but Vienna will send it back to Rodas. And that's taken away by the Hurricanes. Garnett on the trail.
Nighthawks do a nice job to get all their numbers back and slow that attack by the Hurricanes, who now are just going to have to be patient and choose their moment to attack.
Hurricanes now trying to put the pressure on, but that goes out of play. They throw in quickly. So they find Johnson. Ball still alive in the box, and that one rolls to the left. Laid out for that one, but he didn't have to do too much as that one wasn't quite on goal, so it's going to end up, I believe, in a corner opportunity, though, for Georgia Southwestern.
Hurricanes have some high advantage over the Nighthawks, so they're going to be looking to put this one in with their head.
Corner is sent in. Ball still alive in the box, and North Georgia's defense stands strong, takes it away, and now they're on a breakaway. Vitelli running up the sideline. He's tripped up. We're going to have a whistle and a foul, and it looks like we're going to have a stoppage of time and a yellow card assessed to Georgia Southwestern.
It's a great job by Vitelli to make him make a decision. He takes him on, and the Southwestern player had no other option but to foul him or he's off the goal. So the smart foul, but great job by Vitelli to make him make the decision.
So now the Nighthawks are going to have a free kick in front of Georgia Southwestern's bench. It's going to be Aram Lara to take that free kick. He sends this one in. Ball still up in the air. That one goes over the fence. This is going to end up in a corner for North Georgia. And that foul on Vitelli, hustle from him, paying off even more now. We've got a better opportunity to send one into the box with this corner. And the corner is sent in. Stays in the air. Balzano tries to get to it. That one's headed out.
Yellow card issued to number 6, Andreas Melendez for Georgia Southwestern.
Yellow card goes to number 6, Andreas Melendez for Georgia Southwestern. Daviana playing a bit of keep away, gives it to Walsh. Nighthawks trying to find Vitelli, had the defender there to take that one away. As that ball rolls out of bounds, throw in for Georgia Southwestern. Just under 15 minutes gone here in this game against North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern. No score. It's been a pretty solid defensive battle so far in this one. So Hurricanes keep possession, and Lay gets the save there, not having to do too much, but still good save by Lay, keeping this a 0-0 game.
That's a nice shot by the Nighthawks defense. He did get the shot off, but they closed down his space, and he was just able to have an easy shot that Lay was able to easily pick up.
So now the Nighthawks back line. We'll pass it around here. Bryan Properties, a commercial real estate brokerage firm that specializes in commercial real estate along the Georgia 400 corridor, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. Nice job by Max Garnett to keep possession and keep it in play. Rodas tried to take it away. Here come the Hurricanes. And that through ball had a weird spin on it, and so Lay is going to collect. Right idea there from the Hurricanes. Just off on their execution.
And that was risky by Michael Walsh there. He plays it back, and Lay's able to collect it, but I'd like to see him go outside and keep that ball away from that goal. Works out for the Nighthawks, but definitely risky.
Now Georgia Southwestern pressured back to their back line. Got a terrific crowd here, as we mentioned, at our pink out at the UNG Soccer Complex. North Georgia always draws in some of the best crowds. Today is another great one. We had probably our biggest crowd of the season on Spirit Night a few days ago. Spirit Night game last season drew in a whopping 912 fans, which made it the second highest Division II game attended of the season up to that date. As Vitelli tries to track that one down over in the shade. Georgia Southwestern keeps possession. Hurricanes still with the ball, now pressured back to midfield. Hurricanes trying to make something happen here in their attack game. Pressure to the corner. That one is sent in, and Lay collects, and Nighthawks working quickly. They try to find a good transition opportunity here. The through ball goes to Prince, and Prince unable to keep that in play. Ball rolls out of bounds for a throw-in for the Hurricanes.
That's the right idea, but for the Nighthawks, right, trying to find the early switch, but just plays it a little too far for Prince.
We've already seen a couple times in this game the Nighthawks having some great through balls, but Georgia Southwestern's defense so far has stood strong, been able to track down these North Georgia attackers and keeping them from scoring. And Vitelli tried to chase that one down as the Georgia Southwestern defender got tripped up a bit. Some fancy footwork. Here comes the cross into the box, and the shot is off by Georgia Southwestern. Good opportunity for them to score, but they are off on the shot. This is going to be a corner opportunity for the Hurricanes. See if they can make something happen here.
That was great ball movement by the Hurricanes. Just finding the open space and trying to get it across back the face of the goal. Just unlucky to get a goal, but they get or in a corner.
So the Hurricanes preparing to send in the corner. See if they can make something happen here. They've already had some great opportunities to open up this game. See if the Nighthawks defense can stand strong yet again. Here comes the corner. Ball still alive. And that's cleared by Rodas.
It's a great job by Garnett to win that first initial header, keep the Hurricanes from getting anything on it.
So the Hurricanes are going to have a throw-in. Nighthawks defense holding Lander scoreless in their last game. Defense stood strong in that one. Unfortunately, offense wasn't able to get anything going. They'll be looking for their second straight shutout. Second straight at home. North Georgia's men's soccer putting their undefeated home streak on the line today. Still have not lost at home. Tied against Lander a couple days ago. But they look like a completely different team here at home. Garnett with the ball, takes the shot, and that one's just off by Max Garnett. Sails to the left. Tried to squeak that one in that bottom left corner, but it's going to be a goal kick here for the Hurricanes, and they can take a bit of a breath here.
Yeah, that's a great run by Rodas, and Garnett just a little unlucky. Tried to time it off the back shoulder of the defender, but just a little early on the run. He's playing a little higher than normal, too. He's normally playing winger, so it's definitely going to be a learning curve for him to watch the line.
Garnett, one of the leaders on the Nighthawks in scoring this season, 4 goals for Garnett.
Yeah, definitely not surprised to see him up higher in the field with the way he's been scoring goals.
And even though Garnett leads the Nighthawks in scoring this season, much like North Georgia's women's soccer team, the men's soccer team as well, their goal distribution has been something to look at, with 10 different Nighthawks on the men's soccer team scoring a goal for them this season. So there really isn't one specific player that you can dial in on, while teams may look to go to Garnett first and try to shut him down before anybody else. Anybody really on this Nighthawk squad that's out on the field can make you pay.
Yeah, I think it's great to have that depth and just know that anyone can finish at any given time. You don't want to have to rely solely on one player.
Nighthawks pressured to their back line, goes back to Lay. Chick-fil-A of Dahlonega is the presenting sponsor of the Nighthawk of the Week Award and a proud partner of North Georgia Athletics. If you're looking for great food nearby, it's Chick-fil-A's pleasure to serve you. Lots of action going on over there in front of Georgia Southwestern's bench. Can end up in a free kick for the Hurricanes. And when you look at the recent previous matchups between these two teams, it's about as even as it gets. 3 straight ties between North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern, including a 1-1 tie last month. With this being an important game for both sides at this point in the season, it looks like both North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern are eager to break that streak and get back into the win column.
Yeah, it would definitely be a huge win for the Nighthawks or the Hurricanes, just rising themselves up in the Peach Belt standings.
As we mentioned earlier, Georgia Southwestern looking for their first win in almost a month. And the Nighthawks testing their home undefeated streak here. They're on the move. Lots of action, a whistle, and a foul is going to be called. I believe this is going to give North Georgia a free kick in just about the best position that you could possibly ask for. Free kick dangerously close to the box.
This should be a shot for the Nighthawks from this range.
And Laura shoots, and that's collected by the Hurricanes and Romero. That one had a good spin on it, but went right into the hands of Romero. Couldn't quite get it past him, so it remains 0-0 here at Lynn Cottrell Park.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea from Laura. Just needed a little more zip on it to get it past the Hurricane keeper.
So that one goes to midfield. Great through ball there from Garnett as he passes that one behind his head, trying to find Prince. Unfortunately for them, Romero was up and ready for that one as he collects. Great no-look pass there from Garnett, trying to follow up Natalie McGuire's no-look shot earlier today in North Georgia's women's soccer's 2-0 win over USC Beaufort. As the ball rolls down the sideline and it stays in play. As the ball finds Vitelli. Vitelli finds De Vienna. Great through ball there by Mikkel Prince. And Balzano leaves it for De Vienna. He's tripped up as De Vienna had the defender right on him. Balzano, fancy no-look pass there. Unable to fool the defender, so it's going to end up in a throw-in for North Georgia. As they make some substitutions here in this first half.
14, Paige Sinclair.
The veteran Paige Sinclair will step on for the Nighthawks, and Mikhail Prince will step off. De Vienna sends it in. Tracked down by Vitelli. Ball's pushed back to Rodas. As Harrison Wright tries to send this one into the box, ball bounces around and cleared by Georgia Southwestern. Both of these defenses looking solid here in this first half.
The Nighthawks have been in control of this game up to this point. They're just have been unlucky in the final third. The Hurricanes defense has stood, like you said, very strong so far up to this point.
Georgia Southwestern trying to flip the script here. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul. No card on the play. So the clock continues to roll. Jitterbug Party Rentals, a trusted partner for all of your inflatable and event rental needs, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. Their mission is to provide an easy, safe, clean, and professional rental experience to the North Georgia area. Nighthawks in the box here, and nobody home for Balzano as that one soars out of bounds for a goal kick for Romero.
That's a great run by Balzano, and Garnett's able to find him at the top of the box, and just I'd like to see him take a touch there and find the back of the net. Instead, he tries to one-touch it and just goes wide for a throw-in.
Ball goes out of play as the Hurricanes throw it in. We mentioned earlier the Nighthawks They faced some tough competition on the road, including a 4-3 loss to Flagler a week ago. But during that second half, North Georgia looked like an entirely different team offensively. 2 goals from Max Garnett and a goal from Harrison Wright almost led the Nighthawks to pull off an incredible comeback. And Bailey, that just goes to show you, even when teams start to build a lead on North Georgia, this is a team that can get their attack game clicking very quickly, and you can never count out the Nighthawks.
Yeah, I think that was they showed great heart and great fight in that game. It's hard to play Flagler. It's almost 7 hours away, so it's a long bus ride, long trip. So great effort from them to just keep fighting and stay in the game. But like you said, teams are going to have to watch out. Anytime they have the lead, they can't just be comfortable. They're going to have to be on the front foot and score as many goals as they can, or the Nighthawks can come back.
Nighthawks now trying to work towards midfield. Georgia Southwestern not applying too much pressure right now. "15 minutes left here in this first period. Still scoreless between North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern. That ball soars past midfield, back to the Nighthawks. Back line, Rodas passes it off, goes back to him. Rodas finds Daviena. Sends the through ball into Balzano. Daviena crosses it in. That's headed out of there by the Hurricanes. Lots of action going on this left side of the field. Waiting to see Georgia Southwestern up the ante here, as I believe that is Romero tripped up over there on the right side of the field. Nighthawks throw it in, trying to find Garnett. Still, the Nighthawks doing a great job of keeping this ball on the left side of the field. Here comes Garnett. Sends it in. Nobody home there for North Georgia. Balzano was there. He was just a few steps away. Lara leaves it for Daviena. Now Rodas with possession. He looks to cross this one in, and he does. Ball stays in the air. Goes out of bounds, and the Nighthawks are going to have another good opportunity here to try to find the back of the net with this corner.
This would be huge if the Nighthawks could put this in and go into halftime with a lead. Give them some momentum going into the second half.
It's going to take a perfectly placed corner here from the Nighthawks and Lara. As we mentioned before, Georgia Southwestern's got a lot of height on this team. So you're going to have to try to find one that's going to get just past them. Or maybe get a 50-50 ball up to Walsh. And the corner is sent in. And Walsh finds the back of the net on the header. Right on cue, Michael Walsh. They find him, and he strikes first here in this matchup against Georgia Southwestern, giving North Georgia the 1-0 lead.
Like you said, perfect place ball by Laura, and Walsh is always there on the corner. Just got to find his head, and he's going to put it in the back of the net. He's so good in the air and so good on corners.
So now with 11:47 left in this first half. The Nighthawks able to get on the board. And now they put Georgia Southwestern in a tough spot here as they look to try to even this one up before the halftime buzzer. But a great job by Walsh using his advantage, getting that 50-50 ball. Able to knock one through, giving the Nighthawks the lead. Let's see how Georgia Southwestern responds.
Seemed like Walsh was pretty alone too on that corner, which is definitely easy hurt for him to finish and a mistake for the Hurricanes to leave him that open.
Here's Paige Sinclair, who sends this one off to Harrison Wright. Tries to get the through ball into Vitelli. Here's Balzano, who leaves it for Sinclair. Couldn't quite keep it in play. So it's going to be I believe a goal kick here for Georgia Southwestern.
Stepping on for Georgia Southwestern, number 11, Ian Rodriguez, and number 13, Stephen Litton.
Stephen Litton and Ian Rodriguez now stepping on for the Hurricanes. That ball bounces out of bounds. Another Hurricanes throw-in. Nighthawks on the move yet again. Here's Garnett, takes the shot, rolls left. It looks like it deflected off of a Hurricane, so it's going to be another corner here for North Georgia.
That was a really bad place for the Hurricanes to turn the ball over. Garnett is standing right above midfield and just drives and able to get a shot off and earn the Nighthawks another corner.
Maybe we'll see Walsh go 2 for 2. Corner sent in, ball's in the air, still alive, and the shot from Harrison Wright soars over the net. That was a great corner from the Nighthawks, able to get that one past the Hurricanes' defense.
Definitely another dangerous opportunity. Hurricanes are lucky not to be down 2-0.
Wright just unable to execute there. Here comes a through ball to Tyler Vitelli. He's got a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Vitelli shoots, and that's deflected. Great save there from Romero in that one-on-one situation with Vitelli, but it's going to give the Nighthawks another good opportunity here to extend their lead.
That's a huge save by Romero right there to keep them in this game. Vitelli's got to finish that, though.
That one's crossed in. Ball still alive. Wright takes the shot and right into the hands of Romero, who's had his work cut out for him these past couple minutes. He's got 2 good-looking saves there against North Georgia.
The Hurricanes did a nice job early possessing the ball, and they need to get back to that just to calm this game down and slow the Nighthawks' attack.
That goal from Michael Walsh, his 4th this season, is now tied for first on the team in goals with Max Garnett and Santiago Cano. Nighthawks still applying the pressure. The ball stays in the air. Nighthawks keep possession. That's taken away by Georgia Southwestern's defense. Bedard is there. Bedard's definitely got some height on him. One of the taller players out there for Georgia Southwestern, as are most of their players out there. They definitely got the height advantage over North Georgia. But Michael Walsh having something to say about that. He's able to get the header in, and North Georgia's going to make some substitutions here as it looks like Balzano steps off for North Georgia.
Stepping off for North Georgia, number 31, Con Ayok.
And Con Ayok stepping into the game for North Georgia. A couple of substitutions here in this first half for interim head coach Anel Lilich. That was a great takeaway there from Paige Sinclair, getting the legal tackle there, sends the ball out of play. Trying to stop any momentum Georgia Southwestern was trying to build up there at midfield. Speaking of momentum, here come the Hawks as that one just gets past Garnett. Here come the Hurricanes, a whistle and a foul. A late whistle there, but the Nighthawks get it as Garnett falls to the turf. It's going to end up in a free kick for North Georgia. Now, pass there, trying to find Ayok. Rolls out of bounds, throw in for Georgia Southwestern. Just under 6 minutes left here in this first half. See if the Hurricanes can squeak in a goal here to end out the first period. Trying to tie things up going into halftime. That's deflected. Garnett recovers. Slows down the tempo a bit. Leaves it for Lara. Lara takes the shot, and that's collected by Romero. Lara being pretty aggressive here in this first half. Couple shots on goal for him. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to find the back of the net here, but good to see him keeping the aggression up.
He does
one of these opportunities to go.
Yeah, he does a great job driving from the midfield, just forcing the center backs to make a decision and getting a lot of good opportunities, like you mentioned here early in this game.
Ayok tries to chase it down. Ball stays in play. The Hurricanes take over as they boot this one downfield. Here's Garnett, who leaves it for Vitelli. Vitelli keeps it in play. Crosses it in, but the ball stays on the ground. Goes back to Garnett, who's got room to operate. Crosses it in, and that's collected by Romero, who wastes no time finding his back line. Here, Romero, aside from letting that one goal go past him, has done a great job so far for the Hurricanes in this first half.
Yeah, he's had a great game so far. Nighthawks have been applying tons of pressure.
Got a whistle here. The clock stops. And a yellow card has been issued, it looks like, to the head coach for Georgia Southwestern. Head coach Eric Crawford receiving the yellow card there. Don't see that very often.
Yeah, the ref must have had enough of his chirping. Not sure what he said, but ref wasn't liking it too much.
So we're going to have a goal kick here for Romero. He boots this one downfield. Finally starting to see a little bit of action here on this right side. As Lay takes over. Working with his back line. This one sent downfield. Trying to find Ayok. And Ayok coming off the bench here in this first half. The Nighthawks multiple times have tried to find him here in this one. A couple through balls to him, but he's had defenders swarmed all over him. And Vitelli crosses it in. Ball's alive. Garnett shoots, and another great deflection there from Romero. I got a whistle here, and I think the clock will continue to roll, but a Georgia Southwestern player is down.
That's an incredible save by Romero. Garnett's in the 6-yard box, and fires a shot at him, and Romero's able to get enough on it to deflect it off. He's having himself a game so far.
Good to see Galloway back up on his feet for Georgia Southwestern, but that was a terrific opportunity, as you mentioned, for Garnett. One-on-one there with Romero, and he has stood strong here in goal for Georgia Southwestern.
He's definitely keeping him in this game. Second goal would be very defeating for the Hurricanes in the first half.
Definitely having to do more than Hazel Lay has in this one. Walsh passes this one off. Sinclair tries to leave it for De Viena. Lara takes over. He's tripped up from behind. No call. Had a wide open Max Garnett, but a good job by Georgia Southwestern's defense taking that one away from Lara. Here come the Hurricanes on the move. Shot there goes left. Again, Hazel Lay not having to do too much.
One minute remaining.
So North Georgia can afford to bleed some clock here. They want to hold their 1-0 lead going into halftime. They can decide to maybe make one last push here. Looks like they're doing that, trying to find Ayok again. So they could potentially extend their lead to 2-0 before the halftime horn.
It's a great job to press, and they earned themselves a corner. See if Walsh can finish before the buzzer goes off.
We'll see if the Nighthawks can make one final push here with this corner. They send it in. And the header is there and collected by Romero, but the ball stays alive. And another one is sent into the box. It's up in the air. Romero collects as he passes this one downfield. Another good recovery there from Romero to keep this a 1-0 game. And the halftime horn sounds with the score sitting at 1-0 North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern. We've got some first half stats and breakdowns coming your way. We'll step aside for our halftime commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Soccer on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here. That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatments save more hearts than anywhere in Georgia.
My baby girl is home.
Georgia Heart Institute.
Since 2007, we've seen an explosion in popularity of superhero movies in the last decade. Rayner argues that superhero films offer an escape from the boredom many of us feel with our lives. We love the epic. We want epic lives. There's a tension you're going to face as you celebrate, walk out of this door, and you go to Monday and you say, what's next? And more importantly, how do I live a superhero life? John Gordon, he's a best-selling author on leadership. This is what he says. There's a myth about success, graduates. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. One that says it's all about you. But here's the truth. You're not a real success unless you're helping others be successful. That's the greatest self-growth strategy of all time. The more you help others grow and improve, you grow and improve. Focus on others. It's not about you. And you'll find something even greater than success. Graduates, you'll find significance. But remember, in all of this, there's a tension. How do I live a superhero life? Enter the epic by being bold. Your family, your community, our state, and our nation are all counting on you. Graduates, today we celebrate you. We celebrate your hard work. We celebrate your diligence. We celebrate your commitment, and I am so incredibly proud of you.
You can't really get an idea of how another country runs their military till you go abroad.
It was cool to see their outlook on just life in general. To be there as a global ambassador is definitely a life-changing experience.
I participated in the Management College National Defense University Cadet Exchange. That is located in Taipei, Taiwan.
So I participated in study abroad internship in country of Georgia. The program I participated in was the Swiss Summer Mountaineering course. The experience was extremely professional. There were people from different militaries across the world. I was training with soldiers that were once our adversaries. It's when I noticed the importance of diplomatic relations and also civil affairs through the military.
The host school was always really going out of their way to help us get the full cultural experience because we were, in their eyes, only going to be there for 5 months.
They drove us out and we hiked to a glacier. That was unique, especially coming from Tennessee. There's no ice walls to climb. Their native language of Georgian was very difficult. However, at the end, I gave a little speech in Georgian, thanking their academy. It was an eye-opening experience. One thing I learned in Switzerland was to try and enjoy everything that you're doing, no matter how challenging it is.
Being able to see the country of your target language in person and really living day to day can move your passion to continue learning the language that much further.
All the conferences, all the internship, and all the exchange programs will help you as you develop, not just as a soldier, but also as a person. I think everybody in the Corps should study abroad because it will develop them so much.
If you have a free semester, it's the perfect time to explore a country. There's really not much holding you back in terms of whether or not you should go. It's a great experience.
I got extremely valuable training and just an overall incredible life experience that I wouldn't have gotten going to any other school. And it was the opportunity of a lifetime.
My wife's family is full of medical professionals, including lots of nurses. The more they talk to me about nursing, the more I realize there are so many different opportunities within the field of nursing. You can constantly continue growing, continue learning, which was something that really drew me to it. I was really attracted to the accelerated program at UNG for a couple reasons. One, I heard that UNG, like everything I've heard about UNG's nursing program is incredible. I have a couple friends who have been through it in recent years and just spoke very highly of it. Just everything I've seen online, spoken about it, it's just a very reputable program. So UNG was already a pretty clear choice for me. And then seeing the opportunity to do an accelerated program, it was kind of a no-brainer. Honestly, I get to graduate earlier, and one of the things that appealed to me the most actually was that most of our clinical rotations are at Northeast Georgia Medical Center. I am really thankful for the faculty that are specifically dedicated to the ABSN program here. This faculty, they really want to see us succeed in this program and be the best nurses we can possibly be.
From the moment you know where you are headed, it starts a journey that you will never forget. For those who seek a higher calling, to serve something bigger than themselves and take the path less traveled, UNG awaits to prepare you for your leadership pathway. Once you're here, you will be challenged and developed, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Freshman Recruit Orientation Group, or Frog Week, is the first step of the UNG journey. The commitment, the attitude, the effort, and the resilience take shape as you move forward on the pathway that most will never attempt.
Y'all got 2 minutes to change into OCPs. Time now. Let's go. Move it.
It is a process that teaches you about yourself and makes you better than you were yesterday. At times, it can be a struggle, but it's also an investment in yourself. Like life, it can create moments of doubt. You learn about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses. You share this journey with the men and women to your left and right, establishing lifelong bonds with the understanding that nothing worth having ever comes easy. But through adversity, you build strength, determination, and the desire to never quit. Frog Week will establish a foundation to build upon, strengthen you physically and mentally, and start shaping you into the leader you came here to be. For cadets at the University of North Georgia, they take the road less traveled, avoid taking the easy way out, and develop instrumental values that will prepare them for a life of service and leadership. Some people talk about it, others are about it.
Welcome back to Dahlonega, where the score is 1-0 North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern. Here are some stats from the first half. Of course, it's a 1-0 game with Michael Walsh getting the header for North Georgia. And the Nighthawks have 9 shots compared to just 3 for Georgia Southwestern. 7 of those shots for the Nighthawks have been on goal compared to just 1 for Georgia Southwestern. 6 corners for the Nighthawks, 2 for Georgia Southwestern. 1 yellow card thrown in this game going against the Hurricanes. 2 fouls on each side. 2 offsides calls on North Georgia. 6 saves from Romero in this one, as he's faced 9 shots in that first half. And Bailey, what stands out to you the most from that first half on the stat sheet?
I think the Romero saves are what's standing out to me most. The 6 saves. A lot of times you give keepers saves. It may not be a super hard save. They collect it easily. But Romero's had 6 really incredible saves. The Nighthawks have been in great places, been in the 6-yard box, and he's still making these saves. So I think that's what stops me so far. And the corners as well for the Nighthawks, they've done a great job getting great opportunities, and they found the back of the net with Michael Walsh.
Absolutely, and the Nighthawks trying to keep up that same energy here in this second half. As you mentioned, those corners proving to be very beneficial for North Georgia. You wouldn't think that coming into this one with the height advantage that Georgia Southwestern has over North Georgia, but a lot of their corners coming in from Aram Lara have been perfectly placed, and they were able to get one to go off a 50-50 ball to Michael Walsh, where he used his height to his advantage. But there have been a couple shots that North Georgia have taken, inside the box off of some really nicely placed corners from Laura and the Nighthawks. They're going to be looking for more of the same here, and Georgia Southwestern having to go to the drawing board there as they headed into the halftime locker room. And there was a lot of exciting news to come out of last week for North Georgia athletics. Men's and women's basketball dropped their schedules for the 2023-2024 season as they both look to make another run at the NCAA tournament. UNG's tennis programs are partnering with Chattanooga Sports to create the Scenic City College Tennis Spring Break Showcase on March 9th through 15th, 2024. And speaking of tennis, North Georgia women's tennis player Angelina Linikova was selected for an at-large bid for the ITA Cup later this month in Rome, Georgia. The Cup features the top 16 singles players in NCAA Division II, with Linikova being one of them. So a big congratulations to her, and we wish her the best of luck in Rome. And for the first time in program history, North Georgia's men's golf team is ranked as the #1 team in the nation by the Bushnell Golf Week Division II coaches poll. So there's a lot to be excited about if you're a fan of North Georgia, and there's so much more to come in the fall and winter. Bailey, besides your team in North Georgia women's soccer or even men's soccer, what are you most looking forward to coming up here in the fall and the winter?
Definitely excited for basketball. The men's basketball team had a great run last year, and the farthest run they've made in a really long time. So I'm excited for them just to continue that momentum. They didn't lose anybody, so just having that experience will definitely help them this season. Also very excited for golf, which I haven't been a very big fan of golf, but just to see them be #1 team in the nation, that's pretty awesome. I hope that momentum carries on to their season.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of people here at North Georgia have wrapped their arms around North Georgia's men's golf team. You know, maybe they don't get as much attention as maybe basketball or softball does, or even soccer, but they are definitely putting themselves on the map this year. They are showing out, and they've proven to be one of the absolute best teams in the nation. And we are just about ready to get things going here in this second half. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go here in this Peach Belt Conference men's soccer matchup between North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern. We are off and rolling here in the second half. Georgia Southwestern with possession. A couple of games happening this weekend for Peach Belt Conference men's soccer. Today, of course, we're covering North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern. Clayton State taking on Flagler. And USC Aiken facing off against Shaw at 6 p.m. in Aiken, South Carolina, to round out the schedule for Peach Belt Conference men's soccer. We mentioned earlier the Nighthawks coming off a quick turnaround, having just played on Wednesday in a back-and-forth game against Lander. But they've really shown no signs of, being worn out here in this game, even though they haven't had as much time to prepare as Georgia Southwestern has. They've come out ready and eager to play in this one.
Yeah, I think we get to October. It's definitely hard as a soccer player. Just your legs are tired, but everybody's legs are tired, so you just got to push through and just have grit and desire to win.
Lots of games being played on the road for North Georgia as well. They have so far stood strong. Nighthawks putting some pressure on early here in this first 2 minutes of the second half. It's going to be a throw-in for the Nighthawks. As they toss this one in towards the box. That one is deflected. Stays in play, stays in the air. As Laura collects, tries to send one in. Hurricanes trying to make some moves in transition. Good job by Paige Sinclair to take that one away. goes off to right, keeps it on the ground. Now Georgia Southwestern takes over. No call there. Great job from Ayok coming in from behind. Gets the start here in the second half. Saw him come off the bench in that first half for Coach Lilich. So far he is impressed in this one. So Coach Lilich is going to roll with him here in this second half. And we saw lots of opportunities for Ayok in that first half. The Nighthawks trying to find him with some through balls, but he had defense blanketed all over him for the most part.
Yeah, they did a nice job covering him, but he was able to win a couple corners. I think he was the one that forced the Hurricane player to head it back that led to the Michael Walsh goal. So Coach Lick liked what he saw, liked his energy and effort.
Here's North Georgia's back line, and Lay tries to keep this one away from the pressure of Georgia Southwestern, stays in bounds. Lay telling his team that he's got it, collects there, and he'll hold on to the ball for a moment as he decides what he's going to do. Waits for the pressure from Georgia Southwestern as he collects. Goes back to Hazel Lay. In his red uniform today, red top and the red shorts, red socks as well. And it looks like a Nighthawk is down. Clock will continue to roll here. And looks like we're going to stop the clock here. I believe that's Max Garnett who took the shot there as he's down on the ground. And North Georgia fans and Coach Lilich holding their breath here as Garnett is on the ground. Great to see him, though. He gets right back up on his feet. Garnett, a trooper.
Definitely a little late tackle from the Hurricanes, but glad to see Garnett get back up. Definitely a valuable player for the Nighthawks.
Great to see him staying in the game as well. Yeah, absolutely. Garnett is some of the glue that holds this team together. Definitely don't want to see him go down with any sort of injury. It's great to see him back there on the field. Here come the Hurricanes on the break. Send this one back. Ball's on the box. Here comes the shot. It's deflected, stays in play. Georgia Southwestern keeps possession. That one's crossed in. Good job by North Georgia's back line, holding strong there. Ayuk with the ball. Has it taken away. Some pressure from behind from Georgia Southwestern. Takes the shot, and a great save there from Hazel Lay. Finally seeing some action in this one. Gets a hand on it and sends it out of bounds.
The Hurricanes are doing a great job just moving the ball and forcing the Nighthawks into bad turnovers and quickly counterattacking. They get a shot outside the box. Lay's able to get his hand on it.
Definitely looking a bit more motivated here in this second half. And now they have a corner opportunity of their own. See if they can capitalize on that. Corner is sent in, and a little too strong on that corner as that one rolls out of play. And Hazel Lay will get the goal kick here.
Yeah, definitely a wasted opportunity for the Hurricanes. Like we've mentioned, they've got a big height advantage, and that's not a good corner to send that way over everybody.
River City Bank is a proud partner of North Georgia Athletics. Their personal banking products were designed with your unique needs in mind and proudly serve the Rome, Blairsville, and Dawsonville communities. Daviena leaves this for Aram Lara. And Lara, in his freshman year for North Georgia, has established himself as one of the best assisters in the Peach Belt Conference. He had one last Saturday off a goal from Max Garnett. He's got 5 this year, which is second in the Peach Belt Conference. And Lara's been crucial to the Nighthawks' attack game this year, and he's exactly the type of guy you want to have on your team.
Yeah, he's a great player, very crafty, and able to find people in very good spaces.
Speaking of good space, the Hurricanes have some here, and it looks like that may have deflected off the right goalpost. The Nighthawks now in transition. Lara leaves this for Vitelli. Vitelli sends it into Garnett, and Garnett almost had a SportsCenter Top 10 highlight there. Tried to find the back of the net, but was off on the execution, and that's going to end up in a goal kick for Romero as he continues to hold his breath here in this one.
That's a great job by the Nighthawks. The Hurricanes had a great attack and almost get a goal, but the Nighthawks quickly counterattack and almost find themselves with the second goal.
North Georgia's back line now moving the ball around. About 10 minutes gone here in this second half. Still 1-0 North Georgia on top of Georgia Southwestern. And I'm trying to do some more damage here as Vitelli tries to track it down. That gets back to Bedleg. Speaking of Bedleg, that's one player North Georgia is going to have to try to contain this afternoon. He's third in the Peach Belt Conference with 26 shots, 17 of those shots on goal, and 6 of them have found the back of the net, which is tied for first in the Peach Belt Conference. So if Lay wants his second straight clean slate, the Nighthawks back line has to try and limit his impact and make someone else on the Hurricanes step up. So we have a whistle and a foul here. Couldn't quite see what happened over there in the shade.
It was a good through ball, and Sinclair was able to get a touch on it. The defender just came and swiped him out. So he earns himself a yellow card and gives the Nighthawks a dangerous free kick here.
I believe that is Lara ready to take the kick. As Bailey mentioned, in dangerous territory. Here, similar to a corner. And they send this one in. Another whistle and a foul. The clock will stop again. And looks like this may be a PK for North Georgia.
That's a nice hustle play by Garnett. He got shoved in the back and earns the Nighthawks a PK.
He does indeed. So the Nighthawks with a chance to extend their lead to 2-0.
This would be huge for the Nighthawks to take an early 2-0 lead here in the second half.
Santiago Cano will take the PK. Facing off against Romero. Cano shoots, Cano scores! Santiago Cano gets it to go, and it's now a 2-0 lead for North Georgia over the Hurricanes. And they're having fun here at Lynn Cottrell Park.
That's huge for the Nighthawks to get that second goal early in the second half. Definitely very deflating for the Hurricanes, and it's going to be hard for them to come back against this Nighthawks team now.
And the Hurricanes showing a bit too much aggression there in these last couple minutes or so, earning themselves the yellow card. And then the contact in the box leading to that PK for North Georgia. And the Nighthawks will take all of that as they now have a 2-0 lead over Georgia Southwestern, and Santiago Cano knocks one through. That's now Cano's 5th goal of the season. He now leads the Nighthawks in goals scored this year. He was previously tied with Max Garnett and Aram Lara, and Michael Walsh as well, who had a goal in the first half of today's game. Now Georgia Southwestern digging themselves a bit of a bigger hole here now, down 2-0. And from what we've seen from the Nighthawks this season, even with their 2-0 lead, they're not going to play conservative. They're going to keep up the energy here and try to extend that lead as far as they possibly can. So we have a whistle and a foul. It's going to be called on the Nighthawks, or on Georgia Southwestern, excuse me. Here's Sinclair. Ball stays in play, crossed in, and that one goes through for North Georgia as Walsh does it again for the Nighthawks. Gets it to go. It's 3-0 now at Lynn Cottrell Park, and they are partying here in Dahlonega as Walsh gets his 2nd goal of the day.
That was great ball movement by the Nighthawks, and Garnett places that ball perfectly. And Walsh has no other choice but to put it in the back of the net. Great ball by Garnett and great movement to get the Nighthawks in that position.
So Walsh now with 2 goals this afternoon. And we just mentioned he had 4 goals, and now 5. Now he's tied for first on the team in goals this season, tied with Santiago Cano, taking a bit of the thunder away from Santiago Cano, but I'm sure he is perfectly fine with that, with the Nighthawks now having a 3-0 lead over Georgia Southwestern. Ball goes out of play for a throw-in for Georgia Southwestern. Another throw-in for Georgia Southwestern. Trying to work quickly. Lara passes it off to right. The ball's pushed back to North Georgia's back line. And history will tell you that the Nighthawks have had the Hurricanes' number, 17-3-3 all time against Georgia Southwestern. But we mentioned earlier that the past 3 matchups between these two teams have ended in a tie. The last game to not end in a tie was back on October 16th, 2021, when Georgia Southwestern came away with a 3-2 win. And even that game was a thriller, going into double overtime, with Michael Walsh scoring a 50-yard goal with 5 seconds left in regulation. So these two teams have played each other very close in the recent years. And North Georgia, keeping receipts, has dominated so far in this one against the Hurricanes. De Viena takes the shot, and that's collected by Romero. Nighthawks starting to find the cracks in Romero's game, who had a terrific first half. Even though he let up a Nighthawk goal, he still had multiple highlight saves in that one. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to handle North Georgia's attack game here in the second half.
Yeah, the 2 goals, he can't really do much about it. It's hard as a good keeper to get a PK, and then that third goal, he couldn't really do much about it. The ball was placed in a perfect spot, and Knox were able to finish it.
Here comes a through ball to Georgia Southwestern as Harrison Wright gets a little caught up there with Salamatu. Harrison Wright doing a good job shutting down Salamatu on the through ball. This is going to be a goal kick for Hazel Lay. As he finds Laura. Speaking of Laura, as we mentioned, one of the best assisters in the Peach Belt Conference. He's got another one here in this game, now 7 on the season, and he's proven to everybody why he's one of the most unselfish players in the Peach Belt Conference, as we mentioned, just the kind of guy you want to have on your team. He's done a great job all season long setting his team up for success. Max Garnett also with an assist in today's game. As Hazel Lay wraps up that one. Rains Grading and Hauling, a commercial and residential grading and hauling company located in Dahlonega, is a proud sponsor of North Georgia Athletics. Sinclair tries to find Vitelli from midfield. Vitelli looking for Cano. Push back to De Vienna. He's got some room to operate. Leaves it for Laura. Passes it off to Sinclair. Got a whistle here. Not sure if that was foul or offsides, but it's going to be Georgia Southwestern's ball. As Walsh almost heads this one out of play. It's saved by Laura. That ball is sent to the other side of the field for a throw-in. Harrison Wright will throw in right in front of the bleachers here at the UNG Soccer Complex. Lots of action going on over there between Cano and Dominguez. No whistle, though. They let him play on. Here come the Nighthawks on a breakaway. Laura sends it off to Vitelli. Vitelli with some fancy footwork gets the ball taken away.
Great defending by the center back there for the Hurricanes. Vitelli's a hard player to defend when he's coming at you full speed.
Vitelli's definitely one of those heart over height guys that you want to see on your team. Makes all sorts of plays for North Georgia, runs all over the field, and really hustles out there for the Nighthawks. And he's made some very, very crucial plays for them, not just this season, but over his career here so far at North Georgia. As Laura makes his way past midfield, starting to get a little bit more shade here as we head into the late afternoon. It's a great day for soccer in Dahlonega. Not a cloud in the sky, about 65 degrees outside. Here come the Nighthawks. Alejandro de Viena in the box. He shoots. Bit too strong on that one. Soars over the goal. And it's going to be a goal kick for Romero, and that one would have gotten the crowd back on their feet if De Viena was able to find the back of the net there.
That was a great run by De Viena from his outside back position. Just got a little ambitious and size got a little big. He's not able to finish. Sails it over the back of the net.
Mikael Prince stepping back into the game for North Georgia. Ball remains on the right side. Now it goes high into the air over to the left.
Great tackle by Walsh to slow that counterattack down.
A whistle and a foul as Lara had possession. After Bailey mentioned Michael Walsh was able to keep that one away from Georgia Southwestern.
Stepping on for Georgia Southwestern, number 17, Jack Mallorat.
Jack Mallory now in the game for Georgia Southwestern, and that one goes through for North Georgia. Another goal for the Nighthawks, pouring on here in this second half. 4-0 North Georgia leads.
Looked like Vitelli caught Romero sleeping there a little bit. Shot from far out and he's able to slip it right past Romero's outstretched arms.
And that's a well-earned goal from Tyler Vitelli. As we mentioned, all over the field for North Georgia. Rewarded with the goal there. And he now puts Georgia Southwestern in an even bigger hole now, 4-0. And this one's going to be a tough hole to climb out of if you're the Hurricanes. And that goal from Tyler Vitelli is now his 4th goal this year.
North Georgia goal by number 28.
Scoring distribution, as we mentioned earlier, is really something to marvel on this team. Similar to North Georgia women's soccer, how the goal scoring is such evenly distributed on this team. Now, with a 4-0 lead against Georgia Southwestern, 3 different Nighthawks have scored in this one. Vitelli, Cano scoring in this one. Rodas, a whistle and a foul. Walsh not pleased with the call there.
It's definitely a dangerous spot for the Nighthawks. A foul right there. Be huge for the Hurricanes if they're able to find the back of the net or get back in this game.
Absolutely. This could be a big momentum shift here for Georgia Southwestern. They've had their backs up against the wall in this second half as they try to find some sort of life here with this free kick, as Bailey mentioned, in dangerous territory.
And for laying the Nighthawks defense, they would love to keep this out of the back of the net, keep the clean sheet going. Their 2nd consecutive game. That'd be huge for them going forward.
And the free kick is up, and that's deflected off that North Georgia wall. Great job by their defense stepping up. A whistle and a foul here as we'll have a yellow card thrown on Georgia Southwestern for the contact on, I believe that was Aram Lara who hit the turf. A little too aggressive there from Georgia Southwestern. And that may have been a bit of a frustration move there on the Hurricanes. Unfortunately, Rodas hitting the turf there, but he's back up on his feet. Looks to be all right.
Yellow card issued to North. Yellow card issued to number 18, Dante Johnson for Georgia Southwestern.
And that yellow card's going to be issued to number 18, Johnson, for Georgia Southwestern. We now have a couple yellow cards in this one. Definitely don't want things to get too out of hand for the Hurricanes. As they're now forced into their back line. Now to midfield. Whistle and a foul. Cano, a little too aggressive there on the contact with Dominguez. Got another whistle. I believe this is going to be a throw-in for North Georgia, but not before Georgia Southwestern makes a substitution in goal. So Romero will step off. It'll be the end of the day for him as they make a substitution in goal.
Will Bentley.
And Romero, after a stellar first half, sees his afternoon come to an end as Georgia Southwestern tries to keep him healthy for their next matchup, which is coming up on Wednesday. So now into the game for Georgia Southwestern is number 1, Juan Ramirez, taking over for Romero in goal. As Ramirez will try to hold North Georgia scoreless for the final 20 minutes of this second half. And that's collected by Ramirez, having to do some immediate work stepping into the game for Romero, but does a good job collecting that one. North Georgia testing their home undefeated streak. So far they've looked dominant here against Georgia Southwestern, trying to keep that streak alive while they try to maintain a streak. They also try to break one with 3 straight ties against Georgia Southwestern. Speaking of Southwestern, they're on the move here as they send in the cross. Ball stays alive in the box. It's going back to Walsh, who will just clear this one and send it out of play for a Hurricanes throw-in. You could definitely see them picking up the pace here. They've got to score quickly. They want to get back into this one. 20 minutes left in the second half. That ball is left for Hazel Lay as he collects, and it's going to be a goal kick for the Nighthawks. This is game 2 of our North Georgia soccer double header. North Georgia's women's soccer team picked up the 2-0 win against USC Beaufort earlier this afternoon as Bailey led the Nighthawks in their back line to another clean sheet. Sierra Fowler also holding it down in goal for the Nighthawks, helping that clean sheet out as well. Bailey, any thoughts on that game and your team's performance?
That was a good game. I think we We did find the back of the net, but I think we should have scored a few more goals, as they came close to another goal there. But I'd love to see us pour it on a little bit more and get a few more opportunities and goals and put teams away a little earlier than we did today. But overall, good performance, and hopefully give us some momentum into our game Wednesday.
Absolutely. Had a couple good-looking goals out there. Michael Fruits had one as she chipped one in from about 20 yards out or so. She was a little bit past midfield. She had a great goal, ultimately putting USC Buford away. And Natalie McGuire, who came into the game for North Georgia off the bench, was in the game for about a minute until she had a SportsCenter Top 10 highlight, scoring a goal. Wasn't even looking at the net. Had us confused up here in the press box. And it was just a terrific goal from Natalie McGuire. Nighthawks on the move here. That one's deflected as Ramirez comes far out from the box. Scary situation there for Georgia Southwestern. And this is going to end up in a goal kick for them. But that was a scary situation. Could have been 5-0.
Yeah, Knez a little frustrated with himself there. Thought he should have another goal. Great run by him, just unlucky to hit the post. Ramirez does a nice job cutting his angle off and forcing him to shoot it wide.
Here's the goal kick from Ramirez. Gets past midfield. This one sent into the box. Nobody home for North Georgia. Going to be another goal kick for Georgia Southwestern. Nighthawks getting some home cooking tonight, playing in front of the Nighthawk faithful here at Lynn Cottrell Park. And for North Georgia women's soccer, this was just your guys' third home game so far this season. Lots of games on the road, but you guys have been up to the test. 8 wins, just 1 loss on the season. It must feel good to get a game here in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's been a really long stretch of away games, and it's hard just be on the bus, traveling constantly, but excited to be home and finally get to play in our black jerseys and in front of the home crowd.
So this is going to be a goal kick for Hazel Lay. The momentum of this game has kind of slowed down a bit in these past 15 minutes or so since North Georgia scored that last goal. They played a bit more conservative, but still we know they're not afraid to pour it on.
I think at this point in the game for the Hurricanes, the result is pretty much decided, but looking forward, they need to get a goal here just to give some momentum and just build their confidence going into their next game.
Absolutely, and we saw in the women's soccer game, lots of players for North Georgia and USC Buford see the field in that one. We could see more of the same here in this matchup for North Georgia against Georgia Southwestern, which could be beneficial for both sides. Having some of the younger players see the field and having the head coaches see what their younger players are made of, get some experience in. And so while, as you mentioned, Bailey, this may be decided for Georgia Southwestern, they could potentially see a lot of players get some playing time and see what they're made of.
Yeah, it's definitely valuable in these types of games to get players experience, just get them touches on in real live action. So if they're needed later on, that you can trust them and use them. And it also gives your starters just some rest and gives their legs a break for looking forward to the next game.
North Georgia now on the attack as that one is left for Sinclair. A whistle and a foul here. And looks like the clock will continue to roll. It looks like that defender from Georgia Southwestern jumped on the back. It almost looked like of, I believe, Dave Vienna. But no whistle there. It's going to end up in a free kick for North Georgia. Some pretty good position here for the Nighthawks. This one sent into the box and collected by Ramirez. So both Ramirez and Romero have had their work cut out for them this afternoon. It looks like we're going to have some substitutions here for North Georgia and Georgia Southwestern.
That's a great hustle play by Cano there. He gives the Hurricanes a throw-in, but stops the counterattack. He's an attacking mid, so not really his position, but willing to put in the work to prevent a counterattack.
Loic Gunn and Ian Wyndham seen the field for the first time this afternoon. We mentioned North Georgia and their home games just a few minutes ago. They've only got 2 more games on the road for their regular season, 2 more home games as well. They're going to round out their regular season at USC Aiken, at home versus Clayton State, at home versus Flagler, and then rounding out their regular season will be at Lander, and that should be an exciting finish to the regular season. This one's crossed in and headed out by Georgia Southwestern. Got a whistle here. Believe that's offsides on North Georgia. Going to give Georgia Southwestern the goal kick here. And for North Georgia women's soccer, you guys have a few more games to play, a few more than the men's team, that is, with a match at Catawba versus Albany State at home, at USC Aiken versus GCSU at home, versus Limestone at home, and Columbus State at home. So even though you guys have had a lot of games on the road this season, it must be nice to have 3 straight games at home to end the regular season.
Yeah, we got one last big road trip, but definitely excited to be back home and just be able to play in front of the fans. Definitely excited for the game at Catawba, ranked number 2 in the nation right now, so this is going to be a big test for us, and excited to see how we can handle or perform against them.
Absolutely, and you guys have shown this season that you are up to the task when it comes to taking on ranked teams. Last time you guys were at home taking on the 11th ranked team in the nation, Flagler, and that was the Ariel Arnoff's show. She took over in that one. Shot there for North Georgia, and they get another one here. Paige Sinclair scores another one for North Georgia, makes it a 5-0 game. Nighthawks pouring it on here on Georgia Southwestern. And it's been all smiles from the Nighthawks here in this second half, and a dominant performance from North Georgia as they try to get over 500 here and pick up their 5th win of the season. As Sinclair finds the back of the net, and if I'm not mistaken, that is Sinclair's first goal of the season. He extends the lead now to 5-0.
Glad to see Paige Sinclair get back on the score sheet or the stat sheet. He's had a rough year with 2 red cards so far this year, so good to see him just find his way and find the back of the net.
That is indeed his first goal of the season.
Paige Sinclair. The new score here at the soccer field at Lincoln Trail Park is 5-0.
So just under 10 minutes left in this game. Georgia Southwestern looking for a miracle here to get back into this one. And Bailey, if you're the head coach of Georgia Southwestern, what would you tell your players in a situation like this where, as you mentioned, the game may be decided, but you still want your players to play hard and play till the final 90 minutes are up?
Yeah, I just want them to keep working hard and just keep putting in a shift. Definitely want to find little things they can build momentum on heading into the next game. It doesn't matter if they score, but just find good opportunities that they can build on in the future.
Nighthawks making plenty of substitutions here in this second half. Lots of players seeing the field for men's soccer. Be a free kick here for North Georgia. Now with Tyler Bissick in the game for the Nighthawks, as well as Alex Tapia and Jose Galvez. Coach Lilich going deep into his bench. And this one gets to see what some of the younger players have in their bag, as that one's sent back past midfield. Whistle here, clock will stop. And it looks like we're going to not have a card assessed, but a stoppage of time. And it looks like maybe Laura was arguing with the official on that. It's kind of hard to tell. Another whistle here. And the clock will stop again. And a yellow card is going to be assessed to North Georgia for the contact there on Georgia Southwestern as Salamatu hit the ground. It's going to give Georgia Southwestern a free kick here with a good opportunity to put one up on the board.
I don't really love the call from the ref there. He did get hit, but I think it was a clean tackle.
And that yellow card is going to go on Walsh. Georgia Southwestern takes the shot on the free kick. Too strong, goes over the net. And it looks like we're going to have even more substitutions here for North Georgia. As Lay will get the goal kick. Taking his time, though. He can burn some clock if he wants to. Nighthawks are pressured back to Lay. And these 5 goals for North Georgia in this one against Georgia Southwestern are the most in any contest this year. And after that 0-0 draw against Lander, it's great to see North Georgia's offense get their firepower back in this one.
Yeah, it's huge in October to be scoring 5 goals and just catching fire here late.
They previously scored 4 goals against Erskine at home earlier this season, back on September 5th. 4-0 win at home. They're looking to top that. They can hold on for a 5-0 win against Georgia Southwestern. Mikael Prince with the ball. Nighthawks playing a bit of keep away. Also into the game for the Nighthawks is number 5, Finn Kelly Lewis. Kelly Lewis came in for the injured Elwin Asiedu in North Georgia's game on Wednesday against Lander. And even though he didn't get a ton of minutes in that one, he stepped up big. You know, held Lander scoreless, helped North Georgia keep their unbeaten home streak alive. And barring a comeback here from Georgia Southwestern, it looks like that home undefeated streak will continue to stay alive. As Daviana sends this one back to Lay, again just trying to burn some clock, but Georgia Southwestern's putting the pressure on. Also stepping into the game for the Nighthawks is Christian Carlton, sophomore defender out of Cumming, Georgia. If I'm not mistaken, Carlton may be the tallest player on this North Georgia squad, standing at 6'5". You may see him get some more opportunities like Michael Walsh does on some corner kicks for North Georgia as his career progresses as a Nighthawk. Definitely an advantage having someone with that height on those corner opportunities. Here's Georgia Southwestern, push back to midfield. A whistle and a foul here. I think it's going to be a free kick for Georgia Southwestern. Speaking of Southwestern, the Hurricanes are going to have a quick turnaround after this one with another road matchup, this time against Florida Southern on Wednesday, October 11th. So that one sent in. The header there from Georgia Southwestern, no good, a bit too strong there by number 8. As the clock will stop yet again. So North Georgia can make a substitution. With under 5 minutes left, the leading team, whenever they make a substitution, the clock will stop. Now with 2:40 left in this game, Georgia Southwestern's going to try and squeak one in past North Georgia and avoid the shutout. And Hazel Lay has been solid in goal all afternoon for the Nighthawks. Hasn't had to do as much work as Georgia Southwestern's goalkeepers. But when he's been involved in the action, he's been as solid as it gets. He started every game this season for North Georgia, and he's going to be their go-to guy for years to come for the Nighthawks. He was solid last year, and another solid year for Hazel Lay is underway in this 2023-2024 season. Nighthawks continuing to be aggressive here. This goes back to Finn Kelly Lewis as he takes a shot there, and that boinks off the head of a Georgia Southwestern defender. as Daviena tries to send it in. And a good save there from Georgia Southwestern, keeping North Georgia to a throw-in instead of a corner there. Keeps it in play and just sends it out of bounds over there on the sideline.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
Now 1 minute left here in this game. The Nighthawks also have themselves another quick turnaround as they hit the road for a PBC matchup at USC Aiken on Wednesday at 4 p.m. The Nighthawks beat the Pacers 3-0 at home back on September 20th. They'll be looking for more of the same as they head into one of their final 2 road games of the regular season. This one's crossed into the box, stays up in the air. Georgia Southwestern tries to recover. Pressure over there in the corner. It's kept away from the Nighthawks, and this is going to be a goal kick for Georgia Southwestern. Now with 10 seconds left.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
And the Nighthawks dominating in front of the home crowd here in Dahlonega. A great win for the Nighthawks. And that's going to do it for us here at Lynn Cottrell Park. Your final score, 5-0. The Nighthawks break the tie streak and keep their home undefeated streak alive to get back to 500 on the season. Now 5-2, dominating in front of the Nighthawk faithful here in Dahlonega. Bailey, any final thoughts on this one?
Great matchup for the Nighthawks and great job finding the back of the net. They did exactly what they needed to do here today, and hopefully this can carry momentum into the next Peach Belt matchups and just propel them farther into this season and into the postseason.
Absolutely. A great momentum boost for the Nighthawks as they close out their regular season. 4 games left on the schedule for them, and as Bailey mentioned, great momentum for them as they look to make a run in the postseason Peach Belt Conference tournament. North Georgia's men's soccer will be back in town on Wednesday, October 18th at 5 p.m. for a PBC matchup against Clayton State. You can catch coverage of that game right back here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Thank you all for tuning in. Those of you who tuned in for both the women's and the men's soccer games, we appreciate you deciding to spend your afternoon with us. On behalf of Bailey Vessel and the rest of the NSN team, this is Robert DiClemente saying thanks so much for watching. Again, your final score, 5-0. Nighthawks win big. Signing off from Dahlonega. Have a great weekend, everyone.